The Amazon rainforest, one of the last great unexplored wildernesses on the planet. Covering a staggering 5.5 million square kilometers across South America, it makes up over half of the world's remaining rainforest and is home to about 16,000 different species, from snakes and spiders to monkeys and even dolphins.
In this video, we'll be taking a small boat deep into the heart of the Ecuadorian jungle to spend 3 nights in a rustic lodge, from where we'll get to explore a tiny section of this incredible rainforest. Stay tuned for plenty of crazy wildlife encounters, some amazing cultural experiences,
Ready?
and of course a lot of rain. Welcome to the Amazon jungle here in Ecuador, everybody.
This is quite possibly the remotest place we have ever been in our entire lives.
Yeah, it's pretty far from proper civilization. There's no Wi-Fi, no signal, no hot shower, nothing. It's just us, the jungle, and a few other people to make our stay as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, so we're going to be spending the next 4 days here at this lodge deep in the jungle, and we're going to be doing loads of cool activities over the next few days and really exploring this truly wild place.
Even getting here was an adventure on its own. So.
Yes, involved these things down here. So
and
let's
a lot of rain.
flash back to that. So I just spent the night in Lago Agrio, and we are now about to go and meet our guide, who is going to take us deep into the Amazon jungle. A lot of excitement and a little bit of nervousness.
Yeah, if you watch this video, then that means we survived.
Yeah. We left the hotel and took a taxi to our pickup location, where a minibus took us to the boat launch for the Cuyabeno Wildlife Reserve. We met our amazing guide, who showed us to a boat, and then we were off on a 2-hour-long ride down the river channels to our lodge.
It wasn't long before our guide spotted the first wildlife of the trip. We hadn't even arrived at the lodge yet, but already we'd seen some squirrel monkeys, a snake-necked bird feeding.
It looks like a snake.
Yes. And this is the female snake-necked bird.
And we're incredibly lucky to spot a small anaconda by the water, as our guide told us they were very rare to see at this time of the year. We passed a few more small lodges along the river before finally arriving to our home for the next 3 days.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
It's got a little bit wet.
So welcome to our home, the Green Forest Lodge here in the middle of the Amazon, which is going to be our home for the next 4 days, 3 nights. Let me give you a little tour of the place and show you around. We'll start at the very end of the lodge. They have this really cool yoga retreat where you can come and chill out or practice some yoga, whatever you like. Big open green space here, a little net so you can lie down here at night and watch the stars if it ever is not cloudy. And then they've got this really long avenue all the way down to the end of the pier. On each side there's like bunks. Some of them are private bunks, some of them are kind of joint or shared bunks. At the moment, we are the only ones here. Tomorrow, more people are coming apparently. But for tonight, at least, we're the only ones in this entire lodge, which is kind of nice. All these lodges have like different names. This one's called Anaconda, and this one is ours. And we're in Jaguar. We got very, very wet on the way in.
Yeah.
So we're just drying everything.
I remember the last time we got this wet. Probably was on your birthday when we had to buy a new phone.
Well, they don't call it a rainforest for nothing.
Exactly. Plus we're in the rainy season, so you know.
Welcome to our home for the next 4 nights. Matrimonial room. We paid like only an extra $20 for private room with our own private bathroom. 2 single beds, which we'll be sleeping in if we start having fights. And a double bed. And then our private bathroom, which has a nice shower, toilet, and yeah, an open plan view of the jungle. Hopefully not too many creepy crawlies crawl in.
You need to make sure you look in the toilet before you sit on it.
Yeah, look everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like pretty rustic. Reminds us a lot of when we were doing summer camps back in America. So far, really, really good impressions. And they've also got this really cool bird watching tower here, so you can come up to the treetops, hopefully catch a glimpse of some cool animals. That's our home. This is the kitchen and dining area where you have your meals, and they have free coffee. You can get there anytime. There's games you can play, charging stations for your phone and your cameras and stuff. So really anything you need. That'll be a fun place to just chill and hang out when there's a few more people around. So we're about to head out on our first excursion. We're going to be heading out to the lake to watch the sunsets, hopefully take a little swim. Apparently the sunsets here are something to really look forward to, so definitely excited for that. As we made our way to the boats, the sun came out and the evening light bathed the jungle in a beautiful glow. Everything was so calm and peaceful. The surface of the water was like a mirror, and we really began to appreciate the raw beauty of our surroundings. We even managed to see the famous pink river dolphin, although it proved a bit too quick for our cameras. Are the pink ones, or?
Yeah, this is the pink dolphin. That's a big thing.
Ooh, almost got him. That was close. Eventually we made it to the laguna just in time for a breathtaking sunset, and what our guide assured us was a safe swimming area, and when in the Amazon,
How is it?
nice mom. After soaking up the sunset, we set off in the boats on a little nighttime hunt for nocturnal creatures, and it did not disappoint.
Good morning and welcome to day 2 of our Amazon adventures. After we got back from the sunset, it was a bit dark, already to film. We had dinner and we're just so tired, we just collapsed. We had to chase a frog out of our bedroom as well, which wasn't fun. It took us about half an hour.
Last night's excursion was really cool. We saw so much wildlife. Saw like a big tarantula, 2 caimans.
One was like, what they said, it was like 4 meters long.
Yeah, crazy big.
Today after breakfast we'll be heading on a little hike, which we're excited about. It's rained a lot, so it's gonna be a muddy hike, yes. I'm sure. It's gonna be fun. I think we hopefully be able to spot some more wildlife this morning. After a yummy breakfast, we left the lodge in the pouring rain and made our way back down the river to the lagoon. Fortunately, by the time we got to the start of our hike, the rain had almost stopped, which definitely made our trek through the jungle more enjoyable.
This is really a pretty wild experience. Kind of makes our Costa Rica excursions in the jungle look tame in comparison. The trails are much more wild. The jungle is more wild. You're constantly like looking around over your shoulder at every noise. It's just a crazy place. Somewhere where it feels like humans just do not belong. During the walk, our guide showed us some really interesting creatures and features of the Amazon. We saw the effects of the cordyceps or zombie fungus on ants. It eats the spore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then last meal.
Yes, last meal. Yes.
But it's like suffering, no?
Yes, of course. While this is still growing inside, they suffer a lot.
Saw some tiny bees making their nest. We're shown how to use the natural resources around us for different purposes.
Wow.
Like a sparkler.
Yeah, actually.
I use it at Halloween or something.
were used by locusts as well to leave messages because it has a lot of tannin. So like this, look.
But the highlight was definitely seeing the bullet ant up close. This ant has one of the most painful stings in the insect kingdom, so we were happy that our guide was handling it and not us. Crossing a swamp. I honestly feel like this is more tiring than hiking in the Andes. It's just so dense and so muggy and hot. It's like you can't get your breath. And we're just following like a ready-made path. Can't even imagine what it would be like to just traipse through the jungle without knowing where you were going. And so easy to get lost. And we've probably only walked about 2 to 3 kilometers. And it's taking us like 2 or 3 hours. It's crazy.
We came to the end of the trail and hopped in a smaller canoe that we then rowed across the lagoon, where we were lucky enough to see even more pink river dolphins.
Nice.
Then we joined back with our group and made our way back to the lodge.
The way the days usually work here, you usually go out in the morning after breakfast, because obviously quite a lot of the animals are active then, and then you come back and sort of have lunch. In the middle of the day, you're just kind of chilling, you can read a bit or relax in your cabin, or what we've come to like doing is just relaxing down here by the dock, just watching the water go by. And then again in the evening around 4:30, 5 o'clock, you go back out again and explore, see a bit more wildlife, because obviously again in the evening wildlife is a little more active. We actually have kayaks here as well, so if you want to go out on the water and paddle around a little bit, you can do. There's a paddle boat up here, so again if you want to head out onto the river, have a little paddle around, and you can do that as well. So lots to do whilst you're in your downtime here. In the evening, we headed out on the boats again in search of more animals. We spotted lots of monkeys.
That monkey have the baby in the back.
Yeah.
It's about the tail. So.
But as we arrived into a little cove, it became clear what the highlight of the evening would be: piranha.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's not scaly at all. It's like a toad or a frog or something.
Yeah, it's like a
slimy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it works.
Wow. Awesome.
We left the piranha with all of our fingers intact and went on a short night walk through the jungle, where we saw plenty of creepy critters that definitely made it harder to sleep that night.
Good morning guys, welcome to day 3 here at the lodge. This is sadly our last full day here. I've just come up to the bird tower this morning just to see if I can spot any wildlife. Already seen a few little birds. It's just a really peaceful place to come to just listen to the sounds of the jungle. Last night we had our night walk, which was really cool. Before the night walk we actually went and caught some piranha. Obviously released them back into the wild again, but just seeing the piranha up close and from the actual Amazon jungle was just a really crazy experience. And then the night walk itself, we saw loads of really interesting creepy crawlies, some really scary looking spiders. At one point turned the lights off completely and just stood in the jungle, and it was just crazy how it just sucked you in, like it was complete pitch black. So you couldn't even feel or sense the people just right in front of you. Today I think the plan is to go to a community village, visit with the community and get to know their sort of culture. We're going to visit with a shaman as well, so hopefully see some cool ritual ceremonies that he's going to show us. Just going to really make the most of our last full day here in this amazing jungle.
We docked the boat and hiked for about 45 minutes through some very muddy trails, seeing even more unique animals and plants before arriving in a local village to learn more about the lives of the people living here.
Our first job was to help our host make some cassava bread from the yucca trees growing outside. The first step of which was to pull up the roots.
Well, now we're waiting for a volunteer typically.
Pull it up.
Yeah, once please.
Oh no. It's a big one. Wow.
Then we had to help prepare and cook the cassava.
No, that's me.
When the bread was ready, we broke some pieces off and enjoyed it with our lunch, along with something a little less appetizing.
Ones are really good, really healthy. People use this a lot to cure flu, cough for your lungs.
Ready? Cheers.
What am I doing?
Oh, sang?
Tastes like burnt. I can't remember what chicken. It doesn't really. No, yeah, right.
Not chicken.
It doesn't, no, it doesn't taste like chicken. It tastes like any meat.
It really just tastes, yeah, burnt.
Burnt. It's been on the barbecue too long.
After lunch, the heavens opened and we made our way across the village to visit the local shaman and learn about some of the medicines and rituals they perform here. We don't remember everything that was said, but we definitely remember being hit with a very painful plant at one point.
The Indians in the Andes of Ecuador, they have bad people. They have a lot of bad persons.
I feel like I've got little spines in here. We left the village with a better understanding of the people who call this part of the Amazon home. I think the best thing about this trip for us has definitely been the wildlife, but also just the feeling of being completely isolated away from technology and the world. You just feel one with yourself here, like one with the jungle. You can really switch off from everything, from all your problems. It's a really, really nice feeling, so we've really enjoyed that. Probably the least favorite thing about this place is just how wet it is all the time. I mean, we are here in the rainy season. It is the rainforest, so we knew we were going to get wet. You get very cold as well and a little bit miserable at times, but of course all of the wildlife and all of the amazing experiences we've had more than make up for that. I think we're just about ready to leave the jungle. That night we went on our last wildlife hunt and managed to find a beautiful boa hanging out in the trees. Unfortunately, this is our last morning here in the Amazon. This morning we got up nice and early, around 6 AM to go out and do some bird watching on the canoe. Just cruised around nice and slowly. We saw a few interesting birds. We're now just chilling one last time down here by the docks.
Nice way to start a morning.
It's definitely become a bit of a routine. We're gonna have some breakfast and then make our way back to the bridge where we got on the boats on the first day. We'll keep on filming a little bit, I think, on the way back, just in case we see anything interesting again, any more animals.
Quite
I think.
happy with what we've seen. We've seen it
Yeah.
basically all what we wanted to see. So
Seriously,
that's pretty
snakes, spiders, dolphins, all the monkeys, yeah. We're really, really happy with what we've seen. We have plenty more adventures here in Ecuador to show you guys. We will see you on our next adventure. Survived the Amazon. Well done.
Well done.